Hey guys, Gage4 Gaming here, and just wanted to bring you a video on how you can beat the new Ruins Keeper wanted boss. Um, Ignore the footage in the background; it's just giving me something to do while I kind of set the strategy up. Um, so today I managed to down it. It's the first day that I got to tackle the boss. After a few different tries, I worked out different strategies and stuff. So I saw a bunch of videos posted afterwards that use Shadow Karen, or a lot of people in stream were telling me to use Shadow Karen. I fortunately already had one built. She probably is one of the strongest options to bring to it. The only other one that might work out for speed clears would be Reptilian Warrior, because he brings a lot of damage to the table as well that Karen doesn't bring. But what you need is a defense break. If you have Light Fran fully skilled up, use her. Shadow Karen's easy to skill up if you do your crystal summons. There's Reptilian Warrior, who's probably the easiest to skill up. There's other defense breaks. If you don't have a defense break, you might be able to get by with units that ignore defense or have high defense penetration. Winzet is a perfect example. Harma Researcher. There's a couple others. If you have a team like that and you can run like a Kalido to speed them up and to debuff the physical attack of the units, you might be able to clear it. They just have insanely high defense. They don't have any physical immunity and they don't have any magic immunity, but they do have a high defense. The reason why Shadow Karen worked out best for me was because she could defense break and then she could transform the ads. So I'd kind of be more aggressive than I didn't have to play it too safe, which you'll see in the footage when I explain. But anyway, enough talk. Let's go. Okay, so this team I put together to do as much damage as possible. I started out running Arendelle, then I moved to Kalido, then I just did away with the tank entirely, and you'll see why. I brought an Elden friend rep in order to reset the defense break on Karen. I was running with two Eldens, my Wind Elden and then this Fire Elden, but it was unnecessary. So I swapped it out to Horus, more ranged. Seems to be the theme of this new expansion. So the beginning here is critical. Move Karen right where she's positioned right now on the screen. If you've got her fast enough, she'll actually go again before the boss goes. That'll get her in position. So if she moves right up to that wall, she can actually debilitate, whatever it's called, the boss to defense break, and the boss can't get to her because she's too low to be hit, which you'll see when it gets back to her. Now, I do have Karen's action charge speed at around 300 and something, 330. So she laps the boss here, laps most of the mobs. So she defense broke, and that lets Kindle just start laying the smack down. He actually didn't crit there, unfortunately. If he does crit, he'll take half the boss's health, because this is a wind boss. Nobody's critting. So Garrett, I'm actually moved to the right side because if I moved him to the left of Karen, he would aggro that enemy unit on the left, and I just didn't want to deal with it. We'll get to him in a minute. He can wait his turn. So I did bring Horse for the crit buff. When Kindle and Horse crit on this opening, you can actually drop the boss in 2 turns. And then you can start cleaning up the ads. Now, Garrett does get hit occasionally. It all depends on where your Karen is located and what you can transform and what you can't. But basically, this is how the entire fight is going to go. You're going to position your units just out of range of the gargoyles. I'm assuming they're gargoyles. So I'm going to move Karen up here, I think. No, I don't even move her. I just transform. Because max skilled, Karen can actually transform a unit for 2 turns. So that's 2 free turns of damage where you're not taking damage. And if I'm going to reset Karen's cooldowns, I might as well use it, right? Now what I should have done was move Karen toward the get up, the stairs up there, so she could actually get up quicker and then throw her potion. But this wasn't one of my most efficient runs. I actually got it down to, I killed the boss here, but I actually got it to 2 stars when later on when I smoothed out the mechanics of the runs and where I need to position units. So I do try to find different positioning on how to get Karen closer so she can get up quicker. So you'll see me move Kendall around to test ranges and count the movement range. Now the movement range of the gargoyles is 4. So if you're positioned 6 away, you can still shoot with Kendall and they can't get to you. The reason why defense break is so important is because the gargoyles have such high defense. They don't have physical immunity, they don't have magic immunity, they just have really, really, really high defense. So if you're trying to beat this while just brute force, you're not going to be able to kill it. Now if you don't have a defense break, you can try using Winzet. I did run Winzet originally and he was doing okay, but with a defense break it's kind of useless to bring a unit that ignores defense anyway. If you have another unit that can do more damage, bring that unit. I traded Winzet in for Horus because of the team synergy. Horus buffs crit chance on his lead and crit damage, and both Kendall and Garrett need that, and he also provides the crit buff just in general that he casts. And the Fire Elden definitely helped and benefited from it as well. Fire Elden I would definitely recommend bringing if you're going to run fire units at all, just because it's the more offensive mage out of the wind and fire one. Wind is more support, I guess would be a good. I was going to say defensive, but he really doesn't have any defensive abilities. He just has more range with his AE, which is great for farming 4/4 and stuff. But in this, you kind of need damage to get through it. And the element advantage fire has in this is pretty nice as well. Taking every little advantage I can get, height advantage. One thing I was way too cautious with cooldowns. You'll see on some of these gargoyles that I save cooldowns and they never get to use the cooldowns because either Kendall and Horus will kill the unit or Eldon and Kendall. Usually it's paired with Kendall. Sometimes Garrett will get a mean hit in and just demolish them, but most of the time Kendall is the powerhouse in this. Definitely the two most important units in this run are Karen and Kendall. The others can kind of be subbed as necessary. Eldon's pretty important to reset cooldowns. But if you have other units that can do more damage, feel free to bring those. Oh yeah, I also bring Garrett here. Another viable option would be a Nazdan, especially with the defense penetration. It could help for a few hits, especially if Karen's defense break is on cooldown and Eldon isn't available. Now at this point, it's bum rush to the last guy. Uh, I don't remember if I made the positioning mistake here or not, but this is where I play it very cautious when I probably could have just bum rushed him and got away with it fine. I actually count the movement tiles and position Eldon to where he wouldn't get hit, which each of these units can take one hit from that gargoyle. And by the time the gargoyle moved a second time, he'd already be dead. Now, I moved Karen here, and I really should have left that open for Kendall, so Kendall could pull him to us, pretty much. And by pulling, I mean just shoot him to aggro him so he starts walking over. So I just move Kendall in front. And I shoot him with a basic attack. Because there's no point to waste a cooldown when his defense is that high. I wait for defense break to go through. And I should move horse here and buff. Yeah, I do. At this point, I'm not even worried about Garrett. I just want to get this guy down. So I use Eldon here to reset the defense break. He moves closer. Garrett can actually move in front to intercept if you were worried about Karen being able to absorb the hit or not. And the minute the defense break lands, it's over. Yeah, 17k from crew. Alright guys, that's how I killed him. Let me see your strats. I love seeing. If you liked the video, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. And keep watching for future videos.